Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council ChiroCast podcast, where me, Dr. Brant Hulsebus, as a board member of the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council, tries to bring you the newest thing in chiropractic and sports and fitness. And as I talk about new, I'm going to introduce our old guest, Dr. Todd McDougle, our board member, our chairman of our group. And he's got something special coming up. And sometimes we forget about our own circle of who we are and what we're up to. So I thought it was time to do a podcast with him. So welcome, Dr. McDougle.
Thank you so much. And you forgot to add in that we're friends also.
Yes, we are. So we got an upcoming event coming up here in November that the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council is helping to organize, prepare, and operate. You want to tell us a little bit what's going on down in Texas?
You know what? I am so excited. On November 20th, we're going to have 8 hours, up to 8 hours of education that we're going to put together. It'll go towards the MCM, which is the McDougle Chiropractic Methods, which is me, the Strongman Doc's own version of chiropractic. And my goal is to, try and get people ship-shape so that they can go ahead and take care of any kind of athlete that may come in and across their table, if you will. But also at the same time, it's great because this is something, as you well are aware, you can use in your clinic on some of the worst cases, and you can have some of the best outcomes. So we're going to be doing that in conjunction with official Strongman Games. That will occur between the 20th and the 23rd, which is going to be amazing because we've got 400 athletes from 50 different countries, and it's a great opportunity for up to 20 chiropractors, because we have 20 seats, to go ahead and participate and learn something just a little different. If you are an elder chiropractor that's looking for something new that may change your practice just a little bit, make it a little bit safer on you, the whole goal is to protect yourself from the patient sometimes, you know what I mean? And a lot of the techniques that we're taught in chiropractic college actually kind of aren't great for, maybe our shoulders, for example, right, Brant? But you've got also people who are, wanting to get into the sports arena. And this is a great opportunity to actually experience a true international event. 50 different countries. And, Brant, you were there with me last year. Tell me that it isn't an amazing experience.
It was absolutely incredible. It's hard to describe in words. That's why we're going to try to do it together.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about what I should expect on day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4.
Okay, yeah. Well, day 1 is going to be the heavy impact. This is where you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn about how to avoid interfering with the stretch receptors, which is going to cause there to be a significant weakness. In other words, neuromuscular recruitment is necessary to go ahead and maximize your strength and performance. In this kind of arena, you do not want to screw that up. And there are certain things that a lot of us are doing that we don't realize are negatively impacting our patient's performance. And so I want to go ahead and make sure that we're clear on that so that you guys could go ahead and make sure that you're giving the best care, the safest care for yourself, and it allows you to participate in something as grandiose as a world competition.
That's day 1. So day 1, if I remember right, we were in the room. We were learning about different techniques. You were showing us things that you saw on athletes. Mm-hmm. And we were even able to wrestle a couple athletes to come in the room with us. And you did some live demonstration with us right there. And that was really hands-on.
Yeah, and you go ahead and you look at it. You get to see it being done on day 1. And we're going to have several athletes going to sneak in. That always happens. They're in need. They come, from Scotland or someplace and they've traveled and they're feeling a little bit beat up, or, Canada or wherever. And then we go ahead and I show you, exactly how to do it. And then we start getting into the weeds, I guess, a little bit as we go through the lecture. Make sure that you understand the why. I think, there's so many things that are inferred, I guess, if you will, in chiropractic and in chiropractic technique. So we want to try and get rid of the inferences, and we want to go ahead and hit you with some science. And I think, as the ICA, Council on Sports and Fitness and Sports Health Science, I really take the science aspect pretty seriously. And then you go ahead and you get to work on each other a little bit. You get to learn, you get the hands-on, you get the feel for it, you get to feel the impact of the adjustment. So that, when you go ahead and you touch that patient, they feel your confidence. And I think that's a big thing. You've been working with the hockey team for a long time. Tell me that confidence isn't important. Obviously it is, right? So,
Absolutely.
so the next, we'll go through 8 hours, and that 8 hours goes pretty quick. It's so funny because I forget to do, click the clicker, and I'm not looking at any notes. Did you notice that? It's all coming from my head. And so, trying to, in fact, I've had some people say, well, you know what? That is a lot of information to pack into 8 hours, and my head was spinning. I've had doctors tell me that because there is the science, there is the touch, there is, that building of confidence. But you know what? We get through it, and then day 2, I'm going to be bringing tables. I'm driving all the way from Indiana to Arlington, Texas. So it's going to be like a 15-hour drive. And then I'm going to stand in front of you guys and bloviate for, 8 hours and try and make sure that you're ready for day 2. Day 2, you kind of get warmed up. The athletes are watching, seeing what's happening. They're kind of seeing, okay, is Dr. Todd there? And, listen, a lot of these athletes I've taken care of for many, many years from the start of their career. You'll see some of the masters. I've been taking care of them for like 20 years. So people know who I am. So the big thing is Dr. Todd going to be working? Yes. But more importantly, are you going to be working? Are you going to get your hands on? And Brant, you can kind of testify to that just a little bit. When the guys start working, it gets crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's people are coming left and right. Everyone can't wait to get their adjustment before they go out and compete. And they're not coming because some of them come because they get lifted and they hurt themselves, but 90% of them are coming because they want to reach their maximum potential before they go out. It's more about, if I get my adjustment and I'm tuned up, I'm going to perform at my highest level, which is what we try to boast up and down about sports chiropractic. And you will get hands-on. If I can tell my story real quick,
Yeah.
I was a little nervous, right? Because I just learned this technique, and this is their business, this is their livelihood. And I didn't want to jump in and do something wrong, because this is what they do for a living.
But I was right there for you. So
you were right there.
I was there.
But I believe it was my friend Georgie looked at me and goes, "You're not going to hurt him. You're a licensed chiropractor. You know what you're doing." And I found out when a 7-foot tall man that weighs 427 pounds walks over and tells you to adjust him, you just shut up and do it. And you just dive in. And once I saw him, then I started seeing more and more. And then I've been practicing since 2002. It's not like I'm scared to adjust somebody. It was a new technique to me. It was a new approach to me. And it was really powerful.
How easy was it to learn, though? I mean, it's a teachable product, don't you think?
Yeah, I watched you the first day. The second day, I dove in and started doing it. And for me, different people process stuff differently. Some people want to see it dive right in. I need to have it all come together up here between my ears first before I can just do something. And then when it clicks, and it clicked on day 2, and I got in there and got doing it.
Well, and that's the thing, I'm looking at, also trying to get as many female chiropractors involved in this as well. And a lot of them are concerned about getting hurt themselves going through that process. And would you share some of the safety factors that we put into play?
Yeah, you're not going to get hurt at all. It's your high velocity, with the thrust, with the drop tables. It's aggressive, it's fast, it's more fast and it's strong. It's more targeted than it is just a global gross manipulation. And when I got back, I'm not going to lie, I bought a new table so I could do more of this technique. And when I was at Palmer, I knew the tables my father had, and I never bothered to learn a different technique because I knew whatever Dad did and Grandpa did was the best. I came back and bought some new stuff, started doing new things in my office, and everybody in my clinic was quite amazed that I would do something like that.
Well, and you had a great story that pertains to the fact that you can learn it on the weekend, and you apply it on the weekend, and then you're able to use it with confidence Monday morning. And you had a story go ahead and share it, would you please? I mean, it's a great story.
I have a couple of associates in my office, and we have a lady that's been coming to the clinic for years, and she's a retired nurse, and she's elderly now, and her husband's on hospice. He's not going to be with us much longer. And she just wants to value the time they have alone. She doesn't want strangers in the house, so she's going to take care of him. The problem is every time she tries to lift him and move him, she's having issues. So my associates were in here adjusting her the same way they've always adjusted her and trying to get her to feel better, but it wasn't happening. And so I said, what's going on? And I figured out that she was having ability with stability. She wasn't strong. She wasn't able to hold the adjustment. And so I looked at her and said, we got nothing to lose here. Let me try this new Strongman technique on a 78-year-old woman. And I laid her on the table. I did the drop pieces. I did the lift the leg. Don't do this. I splinter, this and that. And she came back the next day, tears in her eyes, because she went home that night and she was able to help her husband, and she was totally pain-free. And this is a patient that's been coming to our clinic since the late 70s, early 80s. And she's told me she's never had that kind of relief that quickly, that she needed that badly from a chiropractic adjustment before we'd use this technique. So if I can use it on a 78-year retired nurse, it's not just a strongman technique.
Well, and I think that's the thing, it is one of those situations that so often people will go ahead and look and see, like I've got YouTube channels and whatnot, and people will see me working on somebody who's 6'9", 475 pounds. And you know what? I'm getting after it. Why? Because, like you said, it's a short lever, high velocity burst application using the drop table mechanism. I have to do it quick, fast, and accurate. And so as big as those guys are, I mean, each leg's 100 pounds. So I have had to come up with ideas and means to go ahead and stabilize that patient so I can do a direct impact. But the thing is that you can do the same algorithm on children. So it doesn't matter from little children all the way up. The problem that I think that we have sometimes within our profession is that we think that one size fits all. Well, one technique can, and we've figured out how to do that. But it's titrated. So just like you experienced, you put it on, you had to lighten it up. You had to ease it, draw it back. That's okay, but that's you being the seasoned doctor that you are, and understanding that it's the concepts, and the concepts work. And that's what I'm trying to share. And sometimes I come off, really, aggressive, because it's like, you know what, listen, it's a live fire technique. There's no safe spaces. You are there in the middle of the fire. It is sports triage. There is nothing like it in chiropractic. Everything else is a safe space, isn't it?
And the other thing too, you talk about strongman. I take care of a hockey team, and hockey players have a term that I call hockey back. They have a high shoulder on one side from holding the stick, and they have the opposite high hip on the other side. So a lot of our hockey players have this hip issue with their hip flexors and the piriformis area from the hockey. And what we've learned is that they were going out and they were complaining of how they felt loose and they felt under control. So what I told them is, I said, I'm going to do a deal with you. I know you like me to put you on your side and open your hip up. And I'm going to do that for you after the game. Before the game, let me try this new sports technique that I've been learning. And these guys, for the first time, they went out there and they just, as you said before, they felt stronger. They felt more packed and tight and ready to skate. But afterwards, okay, now loosen me up. I'm done playing. Yeah. And so then I went back to doing the Gonstead side posture, and now I'm seeing more players than I've seen in years because they're just excited for this.
Isn't that exciting? I mean, it's so good. I mean, we've got a friend, Eric Blum, who learned this technique after I was hired by UCLA to go do some work with their gymnastics team several years ago. And Eric took that technique and later became the chiropractor for the LA Dodgers. And so, you're looking at baseball, you're looking at hockey, track and field, gymnastics, swimming, any kind. The interesting thing about this is that truly this technique crosses all sports, all of them. And, when you have to, seriously be very, very cautious about some of the standardized, what I'm going to call generic chiropractic approaches. And, like I was going to go, towards, just a little while ago, I'm really aggressive about this because I'm very passionate about making a big difference. And so, in a few weeks, we're going to have a podcast that I've participated with Dave Tate and Elite FTS. And I am super critical of what's happening within our profession. I'm super aggressive, I guess, if you will, in my opinions in regards to what we see in chiropractic. And listen, there's a lot of young doctors that are getting their master's degree, and I applaud them for doing so. But sports chiropractic doesn't mean that you get a tent, a flat table, and a Theragun, and you're ready to go. It just doesn't. And so, people like me, people like you, Brant, and then, of course, we've got Dr. Kevin Jackson, who's doing, his subconcussive work, and which is excellent work. Our goal is to create certificates for the doctors that attend, but give you the confidence and the skill sets so that you can maximize the athlete's performance with the lowest risk to injury to yourself. And to me, that is super valuable. And How can you be, too aggressive when you're trying to get that out to people? And it's like, do we think we really know everything after just graduating? And listen, I know it's $300,000 to be a chiropractor these days, and that doesn't include your undergraduate stuff. Maybe you got a master's degree also. Maybe you're at $400,000 by the time you graduate and before you buy your first chiropractic table. How about this? How about we take what capitalize on that, stack some 30 years of Strongman Doc technique that has been tried and tested and reevaluated, and try it. Let's do it. Let's get this done. Let me make you a better chiropractor. You might think you have all the answers, but I'm going to tell you, and I think you can agree with me, Brant. We know the basics when we graduate. Doesn't matter how much we pay for it. We know the basics. And some of us don't know that. But let me capitalize on what you do know. And you being a seasoned doctor, you still learn something. Could you imagine how we can jumpstart a young doctor's career if they just came to this class and they came to maybe a couple of them and then they got to experience this over and over again? The level of confidence and the skill sets that they're going to be able to acquire. I mean, you're looking at a 10, 15-year hopscotch into another level if you take my course.
The thing I echo about your course all the time is I grew up, I always say, a chiropractic royalty lifestyle. My grandfather and my dad were chiropractors, uncles, and I grew up having to sleep on the couch because Dr. Barge had come to our town and had too much to drink, and he had my bedroom. I grew up, I was Dr. Riekman's. I used to mow his yard and help watch his house when he traveled when I was a student. I've been around a lot of cool stuff in chiropractic in my lifetime, but one of the top 10 chiropractic memories I have is watching you guys and myself take care of these strongman athletes. And the first time in my life I'd ever seen this, there was over an hour and a half wait to get adjusted. People were standing there for over an hour and a half because they knew how important your adjustment was to them. And I've never seen anybody wait an hour. My patients get ticked off if they have to wait 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here watching people for over an hour. And it was a really powerful statement to what you're doing and what the chiropractic adjustment's doing in this sports world and the value of it. So I want to thank you for that, because seeing that was really powerful to me, even though all the things I've already seen and been around. So I tell everybody, you got to come check it out, because you'll never see so many people waiting. The adjustment was, excuse my French, but was so damn important to all these people that they were willing to wait that long to get adjusted by you or one of us, and that was just really cool. So why don't we wrap this up with you telling us how we can sign up and get more information?
Yeah, I don't know if you can put a link down below. It's going to be on ThriveCart. It will go ahead and give you the options. Obviously, what we're trying to do is give a little bit of love to our ICA and our ICA Sports Council members. If there's a Sports Council discount on there, please utilize that. If you're in Texas, you can also get a discount. If you are a student, you can also get a discount. You might be able to get even a better discount if you call me. All right. So contact information is there. On the 15th, I can't get t-shirts for you guys after the 15th because there's processing and developing of those things. So, you've only got just a few days to get your application in to go ahead and do the Strongman Doc shirts like I have here. I mean, these shirts wear like iron, and they feel fun when you go ahead and you get to wear them, at your office come Monday, right? So that's a thing. If you are a pro hockey or pro baseball society member, you also get a discount. This year, the major sponsors for me are Web Exercises with Dave Cruz, also Kinesio Tape with Chris Roberts, Modexis with Randy Anderson, and then those people that sign up and pay in full actually get a book from Jocko himself, Jocko Wilnick, who is really known for not just Jocko Fuel, but also the education classes in leadership. So I'm going to tell you, it's pretty impressive when you've got sponsors that are participating at that high a level with tools and devices that are going to be there. We're also looking at Kinesio Tape being there on site, so that you can actually go ahead and be taped as an athlete, but we're going to have kind of an offside taping class for you as well using Kinesio Tape, who also is a sponsor of the ICA Sports Council. So there's a lot going on. We've got a lot of opportunity. There's a potential for a lot of different kinds of discounts. And please, I mean, do take this opportunity. If you're a female, I would love to have more females. If I have a solid class of females, at that event, could you imagine? They are going to blow their doctors that may be the senior doctors. Those doctors have never seen anything like this. And these gals will be unstoppable, which I would just love. I think it would be awesome. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to empower doctors. I come off sometimes, like I said, a little bit aggressive, a little bit, cocky, negative, whatever. But, I do deal with strongman on a regular basis. And if you don't go ahead and fight back a little bit, they will eat you. And I'm just talking about the girls.
So, if you do want more information, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, there's obviously links back to our page, the ICA Sports and Fitness Council, and there's events listed there. You'll get all the information you need there. So check it out. Hurry up and sign up because it's only limited to 20 people.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get on that list as soon as you can. It's a great event. I've done it myself. I'm not just here. I'm a live participant. I've done it myself, and I got a lot out of it, a lot more than I ever thought I would. So thank you for doing this, and thank you for watching and listening. And if you like what you're hearing or seeing, make sure you like and subscribe and come back for more. Thank you, Dr. McDougle, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Brant. You are doing an amazing job on these podcasts. I cannot thank you enough for everything that you're doing for the ICA Sports Council. You are a true gem, and I am glad to call you my friend. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.